Hi, my name is Mike and today I thought I'll show you some of the material that I'm currently working with, trees that I'm going to develop into bonsai trees in the near future. The first one here is a European hornbeam that I've collected from some road widening works just locally. It got pulled out by a digger apparently, and as you can see it's left a big mark at the front here, which gives me some opportunities to maybe use a hollow trunk design on this. It shows good root flare, although the main feeder roots were way on the outside. Now I've reduced those roots down over the last year or so, and now I've been able to pot it up into a fairly narrow pot, which I'm hoping will be the final pot size once it goes into a bonsai pot. There's obviously a way to go yet, but I believe that this tree has got good potential to be turned into a bonsai with a little bit of work. So here we've got another hornbeam that was collected at the same time as the other one that I've just shown. This is slightly smaller and was in a slightly worse state when it was collected. It had hardly any root on it, so I've potted it into a fairly large pot with a compost mix that's very moisture retentive. It's come good this year. Last year the foliage was very sparse, but it seems to have recovered now, so I can start looking at maybe putting that into a more free draining mix this year or next year, and then start developing. It's slightly one-sided. All the branches seem to be going towards the front side of the tree, so that will require a little bit of work, but overall again I think that this tree has got reasonable potential to be turned into a good bonsai tree. Now the third tree that I'm going to show you is this apple. Now I'm quite sure that this is a Golden Delicious because I've grown this from seed from an apple that I bought from the supermarket. It's been about, well, it's been grown for about 10 years now, and it's showing good potential. The branching is nicely spread around the tree. It's got a good shape, although the trunk is quite spindly, but I like it because it's got a nice feminine appearance to it. So I'm not going to plant this tree out. I will develop it from here and keep that light trunk as it stands. And I'll just give you a quick turn on this so you can see the way that these branches. Now there's been no wiring done on this tree. Everything's been just clipped and grown. So you can see that growing from seed is sometimes not a bad option. And finally for today, another hornbeam. Now this one came from a garden hedge that was being dug out, so I thought I'd take it. Unfortunately, the person taking out the hedge had already chopped it off pretty low to the ground, but there was a shoot coming from it, so I thought it was worth potting it up and seeing what can be done with it. Now the trunk is heavy. I would suggest it's probably 3 to 4 inches wide, and I'm thinking of maybe developing this into a raft style tree. It's got quite a way to go yet, but again I think that with a bit of work this will make a credible bonsai. So I've brought the camera a bit closer now so you can have a look at the trees in a little bit more detail. So I'll just give that a quick 360 spin so you can actually see what's happening there. As you can see, there's some new shoots forming on the side of the tree here. The branch that I've bent down there, I'm hoping to root at the bottom here where this big flying root comes out, to then develop into the raft of the tree. So I hope that's given you a good look at that tree. Now here, this is the apple tree a bit closer there. As you can see, there's a good root flare there. The branches are quite evenly spread and the leaves are quite small compared to a full-size apple tree. Now I believe that's because there's a lot of forking in these branches, and obviously I'm now starting to pinch this tree back to develop more of those fork in the branches, which helps to keep the leaf size small. As I said, it's got a good distribution of branches around the trunk, and it shows very good potential for a bonsai. Now, flowering on this tree is some way off. I would suggest probably another 5 years before that will start to flower. Now we have the smaller one of these of the two hornbeams in the close-up. As you can see, branches sitting nicely distributed along the trunk. It's growing pretty strongly this year. As I said, last year it didn't grow very well, but it seems to have developed some good root in there. The distribution of the branches is fairly one-sided. There's nothing happening at this side of the branch at all, so I will have to bring some of those branches across to create some back branches. Roots, as I said, next year I will be having a look at seeing what the root system is like on this tree, and then take it from there as to where to go with the further development. And this is the bigger one of the two hornbeams. I'll just zoom in a little bit on that trunk damage so you can see what's happening there. That was damage done by the digger when it was taken out of the ground. Hopefully the healing is good around the outside and the wood is not rotten, although where it was chopped at the top the trunk is rotting, so I might have to turn that into a hollow trunk. I'll just bring this a bit closer in now so you can have a look at the structure a little bit more. Let's zoom that back out. So if I give you a quick 360 spin on that, I'll show you. There's been some very rough wiring done just to make sure that the branches now go into the direction that I want them to go. It will not be pinched or pruned this year. I'll let it grow wild now to make sure that the roots get a good supply of nutrients, and it's going to be heavily fed, and then serious styling will probably start sort of in the next year or so.